We are back for the finals here at Nordic Masters 2024. My name is Will Hall, better known on the internet as the Will Hall EXP, and I am joined for the last time this weekend, unfortunately, by our current Pro Tour champion, our current player of the year, Mr. Simon Nielsen. Have you enjoyed every single moment up to this point, and can it get any better?
Yes, and yes. Yes, indeed.
Because they can walk away with that big thing right there. Turn the little thing out. This is the trophy that everyone's playing for that we've just broken. Just don't worry about that. I'll wear it on my hat. The trophy. They also get the original playmat art. It's a pretty cool thing to see. You know, you've got a lot of these at home. I've got a lot smaller ones at home, but, you know, take that how you want, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to that. But I'm going to remind you of what's happened so far this weekend. We went live Saturday morning. 167 players turned up to ballot out to become the Nordic Masters champion. We whittled it down after 8 rounds of modern action, day number 1, as they came back today, and we invited 57 back for day number 2. After 6 more rounds of Swiss, we got that down to the final 8. And now, in that final 8, we have got it down to the last 2. And like Highlander, there can only be 1. Players looking at the opening hands, get the little nod, which means here we are off to the races here. The finals, 2024 Nordic Masters, game number 1 of this finals. And we're starting, of course, with a Surveil Land.
Yeah, you know, just a classic modern start here. Not much happening on turn 1. Thomas might also just go fetch and pass, or maybe he has a delighted halfling here.
I think I see a delighted halfling as well. Is that going to line up well in this matchup?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if you 2 of his combo pieces are legendary creatures, either Amalia or Samwise, so that restricts the way that Johannes can interact with that. Of course, the issue is that Thomas also has combo pieces that aren't legendary, so it's not like the counterspell would be dead in Johannes' hand if he has it. Still, extra mana and, you know, the potential to make Johannes' game line up awkwardly. Like, next turn, if Johannes leaves up 2 mana, you can just play your legend and not play your non-legend.
Right, let's go. We are still going to start off with that delighted halfling. This is halflings versus orcs after all. This is good versus evil, some would say, especially if you watch Lord of the Rings. Are we going to see a turn to frog?
What does the frog play into that Lord of the Rings analogy? Is that like the frog that Gollum eats?
Some would say Gollum has the characteristics of a frog.
Sure, okay. I like it. Psychic frog is Gollum.
Here comes a preordain. We're going to look at the top 2. Don't like him. Looks like both went to the bottom there. Are we really digging for this fatal push?
Yeah, I think so, because Johannes has Spell Snare in hand. But again, Thomas can just play around that by making sure the 2-drop he plays is a legendary. So I think Johannes really wants to get this Delighted Halfling off the table and fails to do so here.
We drew another Spell Snare there, by the way. So that's double Spell Snare now in hand. Of course, we've got a lot of key 2-drops in the deck. Wild Growth Walker, Amalia, Orcish Bowmasters are also making an appearance in here, as well as the name card Samwise Ganji. One thing to note that we haven't actually seen, I don't think we've commented on much really, is Birthing Ritual in this deck.
No, Birthing Ritual is like the reason to play this deck with all these combos that require 1 and 2 mana creatures. Because unlike Yawgmoth, in this deck, the Birthing Ritual can always like put into play whatever you find, whatever you need, because everything costs 1 and 2 mana in this deck. That's just beautiful deck building.
Gilded Goose 2024 in the finals. Something I never thought I would be saying this year. As we do play that Amalia, the 2-drop cannot be countered, remember, because it is legendary, and we did play off the Delighted Halfling. And then the follow-up play is a Gilded Goose, generating us a little food token, which goes extremely well with our Halfling theme that we've got going on.
Yeah, it's actually, the Gilded Goose here is super nice because it's not only a mana dork, but also is refueled by Samwise and is a way that you can get your cat back. So when you're doing these birthing ritual things to try and gain value, most of the time you're just 1-for-1ing, trading a halfling for a Samwise and whatnot, and you're not really gaining value. But with the Gilded Goose, you can sacrifice the Cauldron Familiar to get the Gilded Goose into play, and then bring back the Familiar to find something else. You can kind of have a train rolling there.
Right, consider Pitforce Negation in the graveyard, and then the top card was Fatal Push. We have now found one of those.
That's really important.
As well as the 3rd land. Do we have multiple Murktides in hand as well?
Yeah, it might seem so. Johannes has really spent like all of his early game just like digging and fueling the graveyard and setting up. Hasn't really done much yet. So a Murktide here, Fatal Push into Murktide would be a huge play for Johannes to get on the board and try and put the try and like put the screwdriver to Thomas Monk's head.
Is I'm trying to think, like, what's the sweepstakes? We can't let them untap with these creatures, right? We're going to have to fire them off this turn, playing that sorcery speed if we do have them. Is this like something that you learn over time, that you don't always have to play your instant speeds cards at instant speed just because it has the keyword instant on it?
Yeah, I feel like there's also a trajectory there where, like, in the very beginning, it's kind of uncomfortable to play instants, but it's the sort of thing where, like, you learn that you're supposed to main phase them pretty often, and then other times you realize that, like, there's actually really narrow cases where you got to think about the right point to deploy them. Honestly, a lot of the time, I don't think that's where you get the most points, but it can definitely happen that, like, playing an instant at the wrong time can lose your game. So you got to be careful.
What a turn. Failed push, deals with the mana, take the 3 points damage from the ward. Follow-up play is a Murktide.
It's a 7/7?
There's only one card in the deck that is a nice, clean answer to that, and that is a Grist. One copy in the deck.
Absolutely. And yeah, Grist can't even be hit by Force and Negation in Johannes' hand, because it is a creature on the stack.
Oh, the amount of times people fall for that, it's unreal. It's great. Oh, Spell Pierce it. Sure, it doesn't resolve. It's like, wait, force in. Here comes Passager. That's a land drop for the turn, though. That's going to put us up to 5 mana for the turn.
Yep, and so potentially Thomas could just, like, go ahead and deploy the entire combo here. Samwise, Cauldron Familiar, and Viserys here. But, most realistically, it doesn't actually have those cards and has to cobble together something else. You see the uncounterability from the Halfling maybe being live here as well? No, it's just a Wild Wolf Walker. So, yeah, a good thing that Johannes drew that answer to Amalia, because that's a really big deal. Especially with the Synodi Scout coming down. Wow. So that Fatal Push is actually, like, game-winning potentially for Johannes here, because he would have lost if he hadn't dealt with that Amalia.
That's crazy, right? Like, you saw it in the semis, a turn-free win against Storm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. That's something that this deck can do. And it's quite important to set that up. Of course, also Synodi Scout plus Wild Growth Walker just gives you a bit of life, a bit of power on the board, and this Court of Calling here is going to be able to get an Amalia if Thomas wishes. So now Johannes has to be really careful with his Force and Negation and not let his guard down.
So what do we need to do? We need to court for 2? Is that right?
Yes, exactly. And actually, he has enough right now to court for 2 and crack the food token to start the combo. So it can happen at instant speed that the Amalia can just go off and clear off this Murktide.
We're going to first start with a crack in there for 7 points of damage, dropping down to 13. Do you see Orcish Bowmaster in hand as well?
I do, but there's no one-toughness creatures on the side of Thomas.
What a shame. What a shame. Looks like we are going to
sacrifice that food to deploy our own Bowmaster?
Orcish Bowmaster. Now we've got a target for this Orcish Bowmaster.
Absolutely. The awkward thing about this is that it removes the combo starter. And of course also gives that target for the spell snare. That's less important. But now without the food token, it might be harder for Thomas to start the combo even after getting that Court of Calling. Of course, unless he has another card in hand that helps with that. We don't know yet.
Yeah, didn't get a good look at what that top card is. Do have some power on the battlefield, though. Is there a chance that we could just race this?
Raising a 7/7 flyer. I mean, you do have the Gilded Goose to chump block and, like, create food to gain more life. So potentially this is you attack for 5, you chump block once, you go to 16. If Johannes has nothing, yes, you are winning the race here. But if he has just a Bowmaster, which we know he has, that's going to be enough to like stop this race plan.
The other thing here is, like, you can't really attack, right? Like, they're not attacks. If you don't attack, then you're just giving away that there is a cord in your hand.
Well, that's revealed on top of the deck, so it's already given away.
I missed that bit. Okay, cool. So we're always holding up this blue mana for Force Negation, or at least a blue card to pitch
exactly.
for it in opponent's turn.
Making sure that you at least have a blue card in hand on your opponent's turn, and making sure you have 3 mana on your own turn.
Yep, 2 cards left in hand. This is an attack for 4.
And so what Johannes can do here is just kill off that Synodi Scout with the Bowmaster, but if he doesn't have a blue card in hand, that's a really dangerous thing to do, because it would tap out a Force Negation. So we'll see if he has a blue card alongside that Force. I assume so if he's going for this play.
Looks like we're going to shoot the Scout.
And then maybe block it with the army. That seems to be what's indicated here.
Is there anything in response? Could we cord for anything for 2 in response? That would be relevant here.
we could not to like interact with this scenario, or you could call for a Bowmaster and have your Zenodi Scout survive, but that's not really the plan here. You just want to get an Amalia into play, and yeah, he was see it. There was a bait by Johannes, I think, actually. Just try and make sure that Thomas plays this Court of Calling ASAP, and yet the answer for it. So yeah, actually, I think the pretty heads-up play by Johannes here. Trying to play this Bowmaster at a time where it looked like he got a little bit greedy to kill a Zenodi Scout that wasn't that important. I think the Zenodi Scout honestly didn't matter much, but it made Thomas think that he had that he got a window to resolve that Court of Calling, which he in fact didn't.
So now we're pretty much at top deck territory for both players now. We do have Thomas with one card left in hand, but Surveyor land, we know that's at worst times it's half a card.
Yes, yeah, I mean. That's about right. I think the math probably said something else if you really did the math. Have
you not learned this weekend? I don't do the math. I just say things out loud until you tell me they're wrong.
That's fair.
Here's the Surveil. Do we like that top card? Do we want to draw it? Looks like we do. Looking at the graveyard afterwards makes me think maybe that's another Murktide.
It could be. Yeah, it could also just be Counterspell, for instance. Even a Fatal Push. Like, a lot of things are going to be great draws for Johannes here. He doesn't need very much to clinch this game here. And yeah, Thomas going down to 5. Has to chump block next turn with the Goose. Then can barely stay alive with a food token the turn after. So, you might have a couple draw steps here, but it's going to take up some mana as well if you want to create a food and then also crack it. So see here, here's a crackback for 3, trying to see if you can set this race here. And I think actually Johannes must be at 11, right? From last turn, and then at 8 now? Yeah, 7 even.
Another Goose comes down, so that means we've got another blocker. That's 2 turns. How does that change the clock?
That changes it a lot, actually. This is, this is not irrelevant. Of course, the damage that's being attacked back here is not much in terms of a clock here. Attacking for 3 a turn while the opponent's at 7 and has a 1/1 to jump block.
It's a forced negation in hand that we kept on top, by the way, with that Surveil.
But actually, if nothing happens again, if Johannes just breaks for 3 turns straight, then Thomas will win this race. Getting in for 1 damage here if the Bowmaster jump blocks, then getting in for 3 and getting in for 3. And cracking a food token to survive at exactly 1 life. So this is really close.
We're going to make a food token end of turn here. Untap, draw step. If it's a creature, it will resolve. It's just a forced negation left in the grip. Don't have a good look at what I can see. We're going to be in the dark along with you, chat. First, we're going to start off with combat. Get in there for free. Are we going to take it? Looks like we are going to take it. Dropping down to 4.
All right. So maybe deploying another creature could force that Bowmaster to block here.
That's a Dryad Arbor.
That is a Dryad Arbor, yeah. The 1 life, of course, I said that Thomas would go down to 1 life. He does have the extra food now, so that's okay. He can make sure to be at 3 life then after cracking that fetch land over over the next couple turns here.
What is that last card in hand, though? Why are we not deploying it? Is it just redundant land? What else would be pretty bad to keep here? Or sandbag, so to speak?
Well, I mean, he might just want to, not spend his mana on something irrelevant if he can instead crack the food.
Okay.
So I wonder what Johannes drew here. Again, Thomas needs Johannes to brick for 2 turns, and then he can force that Murktide to stay on defense.
Force and Frog. It's always Frog.
That Frog is huge, and it also is going to make the Murktide grow even bigger. So I think the Murktide can become a 9/9 now, which, with Thomas having 2 food tokens is still not lethal. I mean, you're still chump block now, but the Frog having flying and can discard on top of that actually means that Thomas can barely survive this turn here.
It's another blocker as well, remember, which means we can't get the damage we need to get across. 4 points is all we need to do to take this game down. Life total is being pretty risky, but what can we top deck here? Is there a line that we can just combo this turn?
Yes, with the food tokens around, if you just top deck on Amalia, you do just clear the board and presumably win the game.
Well, we've seen 1 already being dealt with, so that means there's 3 left in the deck. There's also 4 birthing rituals. We know about the forced negation, though. Thomas doesn't, but we know that that's not an out. All other called coolings.
Yeah, so Thomas is going to get a Surveil end here, trying to double those odds of finding an Amalia on top. Or
Grist, I guess, would slow the clock a little bit, but is it even enough?
Grist is pretty tough here because of the frog. It does keep him alive, yes, because the frog will only be able to go to 3 power here, and you can actually also still crack a food token because you have the halfling to get the extra mana. So
keeping it on top.
Keeping it on top. Oh, having an extra hook.
just double checking. Just double checking.
And yeah, Thomas doesn't even have to be scared of counterspell here because of the lighted halfling. So if it is an Amalia, it might also be a cord or it might be a birthing ritual, both of which are correct to keep on top, but do run into this force negation.
1 mana.
Just
black
1 mana.
Is it a
a Cauldron Familiar?
Yeah, but Cauldron Familiar.
Interesting.
So that's 1 damage drain and gain. We go up to 5. They go down to 3.
I wonder why Thomas kept that on top instead of milling it and getting it back with a food token. But we don't know the last card in hand.
Let's see. If it's a sack outlet, we've got free food tokens. Opponent free life.
Oh yes, that would be lethal.
That's it. It comes down. We've been sandbagging it up to this point. We've got the free food that we need, plus the cat. We can sacrifice it, get the scry triggers, return it with the food. That will be enough to take down game 1.
That is Gilded Goose being the MVP here, leaving Thomas with 3 food and a line that I didn't even consider possible for him to clinch this game. The Cauldron Familiar, leaving it on top. Who knew? He's just playing Mayhem Devil here, like the Red Rack Sacrifice.
Love to see it. Talk me through, which one of those 2 cards do you think we were sandbagging, and which one did you think we found on top?
There was the Cauldron Familiar on top.
You think it was the Cauldron Familiar? Yeah. Okay, cool. So why were we sandbagging the sack? Yeah. Why were we?
Because it's a combo piece that's vulnerable to Bowmaster, so you don't need to commit it until it actually does anything.
All right, chat wants to know, just talk us through what we saw there and how that win actually happened with our opponent at 3 life with the food token.
Yes,
the cat.
so the opponent has 4 life. You play the cat down to 3, sacrifice it. You sacrifice one of your foods. You had 3 foods in play. Bring back the cat, put the opponent to 2, and then sacrifice it again. So for each food you had in play, it's essentially dealing 1 damage. Because you can... it's kind of like doing the Samwise combo, but just without the Samwise. Because if the opponent's life total is equal to the number of food you have, it's the same scenario.
All that little chip damage added up, and it added
really
up to a Xaxes, which now means we are 1 game away on Thomas's side from taking it down. This is the deck. That is the sideboard. What are we bringing in now in game number 2?
I think the Endurances are for sure coming in. The Fatal Pushes for sure. You got to deal with those frogs and the Veils of Summer. I think those are the cards coming in. I'm not sure what he cuts, but I would expect that he cuts down on X1s here.
Not the 2 drops now that we know that the spell snare is floating around?
No, I mean...
is it worth a Birthing Ritual's worth it still, or? So
the only reason you would board out cards that line up bad against your opponent's answers is if you can board them out completely. Like ideally, like in terms of like something like a Spell Pierce where you're just 1 for 1 and it's not a big blowout. Against Bowmaster, it makes sense to make you less vulnerable to Bowmaster. He might cut the Dryad Arbor, for instance, for that reason. But against Spell Snare, you might as well keep as many 2-drops as possible in your deck so that even if the Spell Snare the first one, then you can resolve the second.
Okay, cool. Sick. Right, let's have a look on the other side. This is the Dimir Frog-type deck. Now get down a game, but we'll be on the play for game number 2 again, but access to these sideboard cards. What would you like bringing in?
Yeah, so here, these subtleties could be interesting. Of course, the Amalia deck has very cheap creatures, so it's not going to be super impressive. The Blood Chief's Thirst is for sure very good. Just more answers to Halfling, Amalia, whatever it is you need to kill. You just need to like get more removal spells. And then I think he could bring in the Surgical Extraction, potentially disrupting the Cauldron Familiar combo while it's happening. Of course, if Thomas just has an extra food token around, he can just bring back the cat again in response. So the Surgical is kind of vulnerable in that sense.
All right, cool. That's what you think you'd be bringing in. So let's see if it works for both of these players as we get down to the match. Keep of 7 cards on both sides. I feel like that was a cat drawn for the turn.
Yeah, and that was, again, a cat finishing last game, a cat, starting this game. It's just everywhere. It's Cauldron Familiar. I love how, it's great in Standard. It's actually banned in Standard, right?
Yeah, it was banned.
Yeah.
It's also it's getting a reprint yesterday. It's getting some fancy alternate art.
That's cool.
Which is coming out in the new, is it Doom? What's the new set?
Duskmourn.
Duskmourn is getting a fancy version of Cat, I believe.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Yeah, we like to see that. Especially now that it's apparently a modern playable card with the Samwise combo deck.
It will be after this weekend.
Yeah.
There it is on the screen for you all. Can you find the one that was revealed yesterday? the new fancy. I don't know what art is. I don't know if it's actually in the standard set or if it's one of the bonus special cards that now come.
It could easily be a bonus sheet. Yeah, it makes sense that they would do anything that has like
Delphi Voidwalker is one of them as well.
Yeah,
I actually like the
bonus sheet. Yeah,
I like the Delphi one. I thought that was pretty cool. All right, here comes our second land, untapped, of course, because we've got less than 3 lands on the battlefield. How can we respond moving forward here?
Yeah, so seems like Johannes is just fine to play this slowly, and they keep up some mana here. Maybe try and counter the 2-drop. And so Thomas has got to figure out what's my weakest 2-drop here that is good enough that Johannes will still respect it. Which, to be fair, since Thomas is playing a combo deck with 2 different combos, and Johannes has no idea which combo pieces are in Thomas's hand, that could be any 2-drop. A Wild Growth Walker here could be threatening. Johannes doesn't know, so he just has to respect anything.
And I actually love that. I love making my opponent not know what I've got going on. I love bringing off-meta decks to different tournaments just to have that surprise element, because formats get solved so quickly now because of all all the amazing streamers we've got, all the great content creators. The format kind of gets settled, and then we've got to adapt from it from there on. But being able to turn up with something different, nope, that's an older one. That's an older promo.
Oh no!
But that is still the same. That is still an alternate art of that card, but not the one that was revealed yesterday. That's actually the art I have 4 copies of.
Oh, that's fair. Okay, so we see Thomas deciding that Samwise is the card he wants to run out, and this looks very threatening to Johannes.
Oh, what's the one card we're missing from this combo?
Well, that's the Visceracia here. The sacrifice outlet that we saw last game, sacrificing the cat so it could be brought back for each food you control. And yeah, in this case, with the Samwise, it doesn't matter that your opponent's, whether your opponent's on 3 or 200 life, because each time the cat comes back, it makes a food. And so, yeah, that's an infinite loop right there.
Oh, I'm being told it might be a secret lair art of it, but Bowmaster's going to come down here.
Johannes is going to decide to let the Samwise resolve and instead just kill off the cat. The issue, of course, for Johannes here is that it doesn't matter for the combo if the cat is in the play or in the graveyard, because if you have a food token, you can just bring the cat back from the graveyard.
What did I see? Oh, there's the Fatal Push. There is a couple of land Fatal Push.
Yeah.
Munk tied in there as well. We kind of got all the tools that we want. There's Samwise on our screen. Look at him with his little happy family.
Yeah, very nice. This is like the post-ending Sam when he spends so much time detailing like how great his.
I don't see Rosie on there though. Where's Mrs. Ganji?
Rosie has a different card.
She does have a good card.
Which also combos with Sam.
We're a different combo. But unfortunately, he's going to get pushed off the edge here. His Fatal Push is going to deal with it. Land and pass, getting in there for 2 points damage with his Orcish Bowmaster.
It seems like there is Fourth Negation and Subtlety, so no matter what Thomas does, Johannes has it covered.
At least the first copy of it.
Yeah, at least, well, in the case of Subtlety, at least covered for a turn. But when your pressure is Bowmaster instead of something like Murktide or Frog, Subtlety gets an incredibly amount worse. And that's one of the weaknesses of this Murktide deck, is if it doesn't have one of its main threats here, all these like delay mechanics don't really function very well. So here we see a second Sam, and it makes sense that Thomas was running out the first one because he had a second backup anyway. And again, he's just missing a Viserys here from completing this combo. Oh, but is that a second Fatal Push? It is not. There is a Murktide in hand and a Preordain. Johannes sitting on 3 cards in the graveyard currently, so he can actually play this Murktide here, play a Preordain and play a Murktide if he wants to. Deciding to do a cheeky attack with Bowmaster and Orc. Right now, Johannes does not have a way to punish a block here. So if...
Talk me through it.
So yeah, so if Thomas decides here to block... he can just eat a Bowmaster or eat an Orc token if he wishes to. But of course, of course, that's a very risky block because Johannes could just have a second Bowmaster. So Thomas is never supposed to block there, and Johannes knows this, so he's just gonna send.
Holding up that one, that one mana there. What could we be representing for 1 green or 1 black? Everyone Thomas's side. We had 1 land held up there. What could it have been for?
It could have been for Veil of Summer. Okay. Yeah, that's actually pretty likely, I think.
Yeah, there was 2 in the sideboard, I believe. We've been seeing it all weekend long. Yep, 2 in the sideboard.
Veil of Summer also doesn't really work against Subtlety, or it works in a weird way. If Thomas plays a Viserys here and there's a...
Grist in hand.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, if Thomas were to play a Viserys here and there was a Subtlety on it, you would have to let the Subtlety resolve and then play a Veil of Summer to draw your card, so you could draw the Viserys here again.
So brutal. We're going to fetch us up a Dryad Arbor, though. That's going to bring us along a food token.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Subtlety does deal with Grist for at least a turn. Here comes the food token.
It would, yeah. And you definitely don't have enough mana to get around that with Veil of Summer, the way I described. So what's this 2-mana play here? That's not the mana cost of Viserys here. Is it...
Birthing Ritual, okay.
Yeah, so that makes sense why you would get the Dryad Arbor here, because you could sacrifice the Dryad Arbor in case you find the Viserys here on top to start the combo. And so now Johannes has to probably just fire off this Force if he still has the Force in hand.
I think it's Force and Subtlety. Looks like we are going to hard cast this for... No, we're not. We're going to ditch the Murk.
Ditching the Murktide.
Really put an emphasis on the Subtlety in hand then. We're going to hard cast it.
And then he's going to get maybe blown up by this Veil of Summer. I don't know if Johannes was thinking about this or trying to not hard cast the Force to make it less obvious that he's going to get blown out by this. But
if we find a Vizier off this, do we just win?
Yes, if there's a Vizier in the top 7 card tier, you could sacrifice the Dryad Arbor, get the Vizier into play, make a second food, then you can bring back the cat. And, he's actually going to bring back the cat right away. I like this play a lot. Because...
We can also sacrifice that.
Yes, because you can also just sacrifice that to gain value. You could find an Amalia and keep your Dryad Arbor in play.
Okay, top 7 cards. We are pro blue, pro black, and nothing can be countered.
Nothing can be countered, yeah. So,
I don't even want to do this attack. This Subtlety can blow it out. Ooh, we're thinking. Why would they be holding up 4 mana on the other side? Why would this Force Negation ditch a Murktide? This seems a great turn to play it. Yeah, we're not even going to go to attacks. We're going to look at the top 7.
Is there a Viserys here? We see Johannes running his hands.
To it. Let's have a look.
It's so exciting to play with this card.
7 cards.
Seems like not there.
I can't see.
It would have been slammed. It would have been slammed if it was there.
Okay, we're still playing. We're still playing.
It's a really good value engine. Once you have Cat plus Samwise plus Birthing Ritual, it's just a free creature every turn. Because remember, bringing back the cat doesn't cost you anything. It just comes with a second food regardless.
So it is going to find a... Okay, so another way to protect our stuff. We've seen this quite a lot in the in the Nardu days. Now reprinted in MH3. Of course, it is Sylvan Safekeeper.
Yeah, that's a nice one. I definitely don't mind that. That makes Johannes' top decks much worse.
There's the familiar that got spilled yesterday.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
It does look very weird, but I'm all here for it.
What's even going on?
I don't know. It looks like it's been dissected or something. I don't know.
All right, so Johannes' plan all along was to play this Subtlety out, just to have it as a threat. I think that is a wise, use of his cards here. Like, really wants to just make sure that he has pressure. And it drew a preordain here, so I think he has Toxic Deluge in his list, and that would be a good thing to find here to clear up this board.
That would be a huge thing to find right now. What have we got? 3 creatures. The Cord is kind of live. I think that was a Consider left on top, or a Deluge.
Yeah, Consider on top definitely would make the was a Consider.
Go to combat. We're representing this extra Bowmaster in hand hard.
Yeah, but now the 7 Safekeeper actually makes it safe for Thomas to block that Bowmaster. Because if
we could also just get the cat back and block if we wanted to.
Oh yeah.
Yes. It's a free attack at this point, plus a little bit of
getting the
life
cat
gain.
back is free. Yeah, so absolutely Thomas should be getting back the cat here. There's also 2 food tokens, so there's not much risk to it. So yeah, you could just block the Bowmaster and the Orc army if you wish to.
Yeah, we're gonna go to blocks. We're gonna get this in, but we're not gonna use the cat to do it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Go to damage. 4 points of damage are gonna come across. Drop us down to 6. Orcish Bowmaster will go to the graveyard.
Maybe. Oh, it is Toxic Deluge.
They did find it. Oh my goodness! This flips the whole game on its head. I guess we get the 2 points from the cat while we can. Because we can just sacrifice twice with the...
Well, you can just sacrifice 1 food to bring it back.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You don't get to sacrifice it twice, though.
Yeah, this is gonna... I think we're asking, like, do you pay the life when it's on the stack, or do you pay the life once it's resolved?
Actually, I think Thomas is not supposed to do that, because the food tokens, each food token is a free creature from the top of Birthing Ritual. Okay. So I think it's actually more valuable to spend the food that way.
But if we bring one back this time, we still generate. We go like neutral on food
true,
token,
yeah,
right?
because she's looking at the food back. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so might as well bring it back right now. Get your 1 drain in, and then leave it in the graveyard with these 2 foods.
Okay, looks like we are gonna go for that route. So yeah, play this back. Drain you another point. We're gonna gain another point. Can generate another food token. And then we've got to go back to the drawing board. We've got to try and rebuild. Only 1 card in hand here, though, and a 3/3 left on the battlefield after everything is said and done with that.
Isn't Thomas at 8 life because the subtlety hit here?
I'll check, see if life totals are correct.
It's just we had an unfortunate earlier game in coverage that where it changed a lot that the life totals weren't correct. So it's nice to make sure. So now we can resolve the grist, though.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
That's another really good thing to sacrifice the cat.
I was going to say, get the cat back, deal with the subtlety. That's step 1. So yeah, 7 life. Let's see how the life totals have been updated now.
Look how good the cat is in this deck. It is incredible. Like, it's not even doing the combo thing. It's just working very well with all these sacrifice effects and the food generation.
A little bit of chip damage as well. Going to get it back just in time for this
birthing ritual.
The birthing ritual, which could turn this into anything with 2, 1, or 0.
9 is the life total. Like, Thomas is bringing it, to an even position, but has this grist and has a creature from the top here.
7. I see a Wild Growth Walker.
You can't miss in this deck. There's so many. Did I speak too quickly?
No. There's a Wild Growth Walker in there as well. There's an Orcish Bowmaster. I see an Endurance. Can't get that one just yet, though.
Bowmaster, and then you sacrifice the army to get another thing.
Shoot you again.
You could also have gotten the Gilded Goose that does a similar thing.
Yeah.
Because that keeps the food alive. So you can keep using the cat the way you want it to.
Okay.
But, of course, the Bowmaster will punish Johannes for... He has that Consider in his hand, right?
I'm not sure if it's Consider or Point. Yeah, it's a Consider.
Yeah, so that Bowmaster now will trigger off the Consider.
We've got to do what we got to do. Sure, you can Surveil... Surveil 1. So when you draw that card, I would like to trigger again. Shoot you down to 7.
Spell Snare, Counterspell.
That's not good enough.
Not good on this board here.
Birthing Ritual is absolutely shining in this matchup.
Yeah,
being able to sneak things in underneath that counterspell. Tick it up. Mill top card.
Thomas was so worried that he wouldn't make top 8 because he got snuck in on breakers. 9th place has the same score as him, but unfortunately, the breakers changed so that Thomas ended up with more breakers than on 9th place. And fortunately for Thomas, it means that he's in the top 8 here. Was so happy to receive those news, and is now sitting here with a winning board against an opponent with just 2 counterspells. Can he close it out here, or will Johannes have something else to claw him out of this game?
Well, let's have a little look. Do we want to just go to combat straight away? Do we want to try and cast a spell first? Doing the math here. What also can I hit off this birthing ritual if I don't attack that can just win me the game straight up? Do I need another combo piece? What have I got in my hands? So many options for both players right now, but we are going to start with combat.
I think he's not going to combo at all in this entire match. This is just, a second
Orcish Bowmaster again. That is going to eat the spell snare, though.
Okay, so Johannes found a use for that spell snare, but still going down to 4 life here, facing lethal.
Looking at the graveyard. I think that, so basically they're looking at with that Consider if the card was put to the bottom of the library or did it go into the graveyard.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's interesting.
Not entirely sure if it's going to make too much of a difference right now, but this is going to be moments away potentially from taking this game down. So while we kind of get this judge call sorted, I remind everybody that is tuning in right now. I see close to 800 of you here in the chat, and we appreciate every single one of you being here. If you could do me one more favor though, please hit the follow button on this channel. We started with 167 players in day number 1. 8 rounds of modern action. We were able to whittle that down to 57 players. We've now whittled that 57 down to 8, that 8 down to 2, but there will be one of these 2 players here on your screen right now. Will it be Samwise combo? Will it be the Dimir Murktide deck? Only moments away from finding that out, but it is looking extremely good that Samwise Good is going to prevail over evil and take this trophy in front of you, Simon Nielsen.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, keep in mind, like in terms of following this channel, like this is a tournament that's been growing and growing. We had it 2 years ago in a like much smaller hall. Like here, we've just been upgrading at Malmö Game Week, and also we've been talking about your flight very soon. We're very, very, very close to Copenhagen Airport, like one train stop away from Copenhagen
Literally one
Airport.
train stop.
So coming here is just super convenient and easy. And I hope that, like, you know, with all the support, all the new followers, Nordic Masters can grow even more next year. That would just be incredible. So good for the Scandinavian
invites
scene.
on the line. Second birthing ritual is going to come down. That is going to be the last card in hand. Counter spell. Look at top 7 end of turn. We have got a 0 drop and a 2 drop to turn into something better, potentially.
Johannes had 4 life here, I believe.
Yeah.
So let's see here. What can he hit? It doesn't even like have to do much here because you just upgrade your insect to like a delighted halfling, and that's good enough. Or to a Visceraseer, and that's good enough. Still presenting lethal.
Even a Gilded Goose, anything, because we've got the cat in the graveyard as well.
Yeah, Gilded Goose is a really good card to hit here. But you might also get the Visceraseer to potentially threaten the combo if he finds the second piece.
There it is.
Because one of the cards Johannes can draw here that would help him eke out this game is a Psychic Frog. And that would be a blocker, and...
top card. Looks at it.
What is it?
What is it?
What is it?
It's a card that draws us a card. It's not exactly what we want to do. Surveil 2. Scry 2.
Go to 3 life here. He can find a Murktide here. That would be big enough to block, but there's a Grist in play.
There's a Grist on 2.
Wow.
That gets rid of the blocker.
Yeah, so what can he even do? Can't even Toxic Deluge here.
Point damage to the face. Casper is in it. Handshake, and we're going to see Thomas Munk taking this down with Samwise combo. Absolutely masterclass. What a cool deck, and what a great tournament to win it at.
Yeah, so cool. Like, Thomas actually messaged me like a month or so ago that he's been working on Samwise. I wanted to look on input. I've been working on it a little bit for the Pro Tour. We only discovered this deck like a couple days before, didn't quite have time to flesh it out, and decided to drop it, but knew that like this deck could easily be a great player in Modern, and it's so exciting for me to see Samwise do so well and do it in a way that I didn't even expect, adding a Malia combo into the mix, really like mixing it up and taking advantage of this birthing ritual, being able to fetch up these combos that you need. It is so unique, such a great rewarding to see at player deck building.
It just sums up this whole tournament, right? We've just had a whole months and months and months of being stuck underneath Nardu. Like there's just every deck. It's not the best format at that point. We've now got it with Bandit. Yeah, you better say sorry. Grief also gone out of here. Completely new modern meta game. 8 different decks in that top 8, and the Brew takes it down, and he's walking in the room right now. Simon, if you just jump out, we're going to get him in here. I'm going to take this trophy over here momentarily before I pass it to you. Jump in here, Thomas. Get in here. Get this headset on, my friend.
Thank you.
Starting off first, congratulations.
Thank you.
I want to take you back to Friday, where we were sat down just outside, and you were talking to me about, I like playing Brews. They're not very good, though.
Yeah.
You can take that back right now, my friend, because this trophy is yours. The original art is yours. Watch this, so this doesn't fall up. You are now the 2024 Nordic Masters champion. Quick hands by Will Hall there. Catching it. Love to see it. Jump back in and scream, mate. Don't go in.
I will. Okay, yeah. So
talk me through it. Why did you bring that deck this weekend?
So I love playing creature combo decks, and I love.
Just put it on the desk. Step away from it.
I love playing creature combo, and I love doing brews, like bad silly brews. I love to play rogue decks, so I have like a million bad creature combo decks, and I just thought this was maybe the best one I had for this weekend. And then, you gave me this win, right? Because on Friday, like I was 2-0 in the ASI, and you posted Amalia is like.
I did. And it was like you went on the top table. It was table 2. I thought, okay, because it's now banned in Pioneer. Yeah. People are going to be interested. That is here in Modern. I did the tweet on Friday, and now here you are on Sunday with the champion, with the tweet, with the title Nordic Masters champion. Yeah, exactly. Like that in itself is a sick. The new Modern format, and you did it on your own terms. You couldn't write a better storyline.
No, this is amazing. Yeah.
Right. That's the camera. That is chat. Give any shout outs to anybody that you want that helps you. You can get to hear any friends, your FNMs, or just if you want to shout out, Samwise and Frodo get in the ring to Mordor.
I guess shout out to my friends who helped me test a couple of Samwise combos, and shout out to all my friends who are here supporting me and like cheering for me. Like, it was really awesome to be here, and honestly, completely unbelievable. I did not even expect today too. So
well, you're here now, and you've got one more gift as well. You'll notice that all the playmats have got this art on as well. This is the one of one, the original art of all the playmats. Show off to everybody there. This can now go on your wall at home as well, next to that trophy. Dude, and we're going to see you at the regional championships as well, because you're also qualified for that.
Yeah.
Swick, well, I'm not going to keep any more of your time. I'm going to let you get out there to your friends and have a good day. It's been a pleasure, my friend, commentating your games, and it's good meeting you for the first time. Great, let me take that off you so don't fall. Appreciate it. Right, chat, what a blinder. Right, let's get where's Simon ran off to? There he is. Get back in here, Simon. You get in here as well, Andreas. You're part of the team. We need to close down the show today. So, chat, we need to say thank you to a lot of people to put this production on. As I said, this is now the third year of Nordic Masters, and it's growing every single year. This year, we have now spiked at around 700 viewers. That is an absolute record for this channel, but you can help us one more time. Hit that follow button. We need to thank everyone. Mindstage for putting this event on. All the amazing sponsors that we've had all weekend long. I need to thank these two gentlemen and Joel, that's currently on a flight right now, putting up a stellar performance, giving everyone at home the best commentary possible, and we hope you have enjoyed it. But the last shout out, of course, well, in fact, there's one more before that. The lads sat in there, the production team that have been digging out blind all weekend, putting on all the graphics that we need, getting all the cables run, the cameras, the lighting, making us look good. So we appreciate you, gents. And of course, the last one is you, chat, watching. If it wasn't for you, it would just be us sat here talking, which I'm quite happy to do, to be fair, just so you guys know. But it's a lot better when there's a lot of people watching out there. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you tune in next time that this goes live, or even come and take part of this event. It is amazing. There's so much cool stuff here this weekend. We hope you enjoyed it. And on that one, from me, from the team, from Mindset, from all the sponsors, good night.